Hello and welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, India's only daily television platform for small businesses. We bring you the right information to empower you, the SME entrepreneur. Tonight on the show, we're bringing you to the influencer conversations. First up is Parth Projects. On the other side of a break is Navitas Solar. One of the largest when it comes to turnkey projects in the environmental management project space is Parth Projects. I'm being joined, in fact, right now by Aarti Basu. She's the CEO of this Vadodara-based company, providing services and projects to not just the biggest names in India, but also across the world. Aarti, good having you here on the show with us tonight. This is your brainchild, this is your baby, and has been in existence for almost 2 decades or so now, I understand. You set this project up, you set this company up after having quit your job because you were so convinced that there was a huge market in this space. I want to pick your brains on those initial days.
After doing my chemical engineering and post-graduation, I always wanted to do something for the chemical industry. Worked for Atul Products Limited for about a year and got the first year training for the manufacturing as well as the chemical engineering requirements in the chemical industry. After working in chemical industry, I was aware about the environment management requirements and got an opportunity to work for World Bank aided projects in India. After getting the data from chemical industry, I was aware that it was the need of an hour for doing something for the chemical industry, for the environment management, the pollution they generate because of the chemical manufacturing processes. Air pollution, wastewater treatment requirements, the land pollution was severe in India in 90s. Day by day, the requirements became more and more severe, and I was looking at the potential of the environment management requirements and thought of starting my own business catering the chemical industry for air, water and land pollution requirements. And that is how the idea came. I was already aware about the requirements from the 6 districts we studied in India, 6 industrial estates we studied in India. Nandesari, Vapi, Ankleshwar, the most crowded chemical industrial estates in India. I also studied Dombivli, Pali in Rajasthan and Kadalur in Tamil Nadu for the wastewater treatment plant requirements where World Bank was funding the projects for common effluent treatment plant.
Like I said in my introduction, Aarti, today you provide your services and your products to not just the biggest names when it comes to the domestic market, but across the world as well. You know, some of the biggest names globally as well. What's your USP? How have you managed in these last, 2 decades or so to really establish that kind of, clientele for yourself, that kind of market, that kind of footprint?
We are preferred environment management company because we cater to all the 3 requirements of air pollution control, water pollution control and land pollution control. We are a turnkey project execution company for wastewater treatment plant with zero liquid discharge. We treat the wastewater and recycle back into the industry where they are able to save almost 90% of the water generated as effluent. We do land pollution control by supplying chemical waste incinerators, and also we are able to do the challenging air pollution control requirements like hydrofluoric acids, bromine, HCl, SO2, all the acidic gas scrubbers we are supplying. They control the air pollution requirements to the stringent standards required by pollution control authorities.
You lay great emphasis in terms of adopting greener technologies and greener energy usage for the clients that you work with. Why is that important for you and how do you do that?
Parth Projects and Construction has been pioneer in employing the zero liquid discharge and the water recycling technologies for the wastewater treatment plant. We are able to recycle almost 90% of the treated effluent back into the plant for the process reuse as well as for the utility requirements. So many chemical industries and pharmaceutical industries are using our treated water back into their cooling towers and boilers, and they are able to save 90% of their fresh water requirement. And we are able to treat the high pollutants effluent by employing evaporation technologies, UF and RO plants, and the biological treatment plants, which we are providing the technologies, and we are updating our technologies every day. Parth Projects has been successfully employing the technologies available in the world over and making it more indigenous and technically as well as economically more feasible for Indian industry to employ the environment management requirements.
The pharma space, despite being, very highly technical, is an area where you have managed to establish quite the name for yourself and quite the niche for yourself. How have you managed to do that? Why is that perhaps an area that you are so interested in? What is the kind of growth you're seeing there?
In early 90s, India was emerging for chemical industrial manufacturing sector, and many multinationals also came to India, where environmental requirements became very stringent and necessary. That is the time I thought of starting the environment management company, and we got an opportunity from the companies like GE in Bangalore when they came into India. DuPont and Vadodara. Bayer was already existing as a German multinational in India, and we got a very good opportunity to work for the companies where they were very serious and genuinely they wanted to put up an environment management projects, where we had supplied early days incineration system and wastewater treatment plant. That was the boost to Parth Projects and Construction Private Limited, and that is how we started. And then many projects came in. We also worked for repeated projects for the multinationals and the large pharmaceutical companies in India.
Environmental engineering and water reclamation, I understand, are two other areas that you are very deeply involved in at Parth. What is the sort of growth you're seeing there? Why these areas? What's the potential for growth?
Parth Projects is able to handle all the high pollutant effluents generated by chemical and pharmaceutical industry. We are able to understand their needs by segregating the different types of processes and the effluents characteristics. We treat them in a different way so that the industry is able to recover wastewater after treatment, as well as they can meet the pollution control standards required by the authorities.
Over the past few years, we've seen, quite a bit of back and forth, if I can call it that, Aarti, when it comes to, clearances being given to multiple industry in terms of the environmental clearance. Has that perhaps had any trickle-down effect on your own industry? Has that had any impact on your projects?
We are also observing that the industry is becoming more and more aware and genuine about the environment management requirements. And that is the reason that we are looking at a market which will be more genuine and more forward on the technological part as far as the chemical manufacturing is concerned in India. Government is very serious about the water conservation nowadays, and especially the industry's water requirements is growing day by day because the manufacturing sector is growing. The government has already put in their policies for the water recycling requirements, and we are geared up to cater the industry for water recycling by providing zero liquid discharge plants for the environment management.
So you're one company that is talking to the names of, say, a Coca-Cola or a Bayer's, for instance. Just give our viewers some insight through this conversation in terms of how you are ensuring you're working with these large players. Are you giving them specialized models? What does that involve to be able to back those big clients and retain them?
We have been very fortunate to have been executing the projects, and in fact repeated projects from multinationals like DuPont, GE, Bayer, also the multinationals from India like Asian Paints, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, large pharmaceutical companies like Torrent Pharmaceuticals Limited, Glenmark, Cipla. We have done many projects. We have been executing repeated projects because we have been able to give timely services and the successful execution of the projects by achieving the parameters required by industry as well as the authorities.
All right, Aarti, good having you here on the show. My last question to you is, in the short term, in the next 2 to 3 years, perhaps, what's exciting you at Parth Projects that you want to leave us with?
Parth Projects has been successfully executing projects for the biological treatment plants required for the chemical and pharmaceutical industry. We have been not catering the environment management projects requirement to paper and distillery industries, where now we would like to add the anaerobic treatment plant technologies in our portfolio, so that we are able to give services for the paper industry where there is a large effluent generated and they need to recycle that effluent, treated effluent. We also need to work for lots of sugar and distillery industries where we can recover almost 90% of the treated water. We would be adding more technologies so that we can cater even to this industries.
Aarti Basu, good having you here on the show tonight.
Thank you, Sunanda. Thank you, ET Now.
All right, Aarti, good having you here on the show tonight. We're going to slip into a very short break on that note, but on the other side, Navitas Solar is in focus. Just stay tuned. Welcome back. With us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight on the show, our second The Influencer conversation is with Navitas Solar. Vineet, good having you here on the show with us tonight. My first question to you is that, you've introduced the technology, which is what you're using at Navitas Solar at a time when it was not really commonplace in the rest of the industry. It was still a very small industry. What sort of gave you that conviction that this was what you were going to do? What led you to really, start down that path?
So first of all, I was being a manufacturing background. All our other family businesses are into different sectors of manufacturing like textile, real estate, construction materials, steel, transformers. So we were always comfortable with the idea of getting into a new segment of manufacturing. So when we were trying to put up a solar plant down in 2012, we were not getting a lot of good vendors to help us support the installation. Then we saw it as an opportunity that when a sector which is growing so fast, and we believe that it has a huge potential of growth in the coming days, and we are getting so less vendors, then it's an opportunity for us to get into, and we started researching about solar. Unfortunately, there was very less data available, so we had to move around, we had to attend a lot of conferences and attend a lot of exhibitions, meet a lot of people. So we did our research for maybe 2 years or so, and then all of us, all of us, 5 of us, we decided to put our leg into the manufacturing of solar panels. Primary reason being that there were very few manufacturers in India who had a decent name, and then there was no one who could be called as a brand. Apart from that, all the international brands were very expensive, and there was a lot of volume requirement to purchase from them. So we thought of focusing on the small and medium scale industries, the rooftop segment, the distributed solar segment, where we could create a niche for ourselves. And it's been a journey from initial 75 megawatt capacity that we installed in 2015 to 200 megawatt, which we expanded last year. And our business is now growing into other verticals as well. Apart from manufacturing, we are into the EPC vertical. We are doing the RESCO projects where we sell power to the end consumer directly.
So while we started this conversation talking about how niche the market is, the central government on its part, of course, has been doing quite a bit to ensure that this market and this industry is growing. That said, what are some of the initial challenges that you face despite so much of attention and focus really being there on the solar industry?
Solar being a technology product and into the green buildings and green environment segment, it's a growing field, so there is not a lot of awareness in the market about it. So when we got into the market in 2013, we had to face a lot of difficulties in the technical part, understanding the manufacturing setup, the equipment, the suppliers, the raw materials. So that was the first challenge. But the bigger challenge was to get the banks were not very supportive of offering finances for solar manufacturing because they don't have a lot of experience in this segment, and they always look at it as a risk investment because there is not a lot of other manufacturing happening in solar at that point of time. So that was a major challenge. Once we overcame that with our group strength and experience, then the real challenges started in the market where the people are not aware of solar. Our major time goes into the explaining of what a solar project is, how they can be benefited out of it, either economically or through provision of power at the point of consumption. If they want power at any point, solar can be handful in a small segment or the large segment. So the challenge of awareness is a major one rather than the economic part. Now that the awareness is happening, the market is growing very fast, and due to the falling cost of solar, the acceptability on an economic model has been very wide, and people are now installing solar wherever they can.
Vineet, from what we're given to understand, the product range that exists right now in the solar market serves either very small businesses or much larger businesses. SMEs are not really being served by rooftop solar products. How do you think that's going to change? And can you give us a sense of perhaps what it is you are doing in that space?
I totally agree with you. SMEs are the major industry in India. I think they command more than 60% of the GDP in terms of the industrial output, and the benefit of solar on an SME level is widespread, but there are various challenges which the SMEs face because of which they are not able to install solar power plants. The basic one and the most important one is the upfront capital commitment that the SMEs need to take. There have been few clients who have invested solar on their own books and they have been very happy with the returns, but not everyone is interested to put up a major chunk of money from their business into solar. They are ready to invest in their own books in their existing businesses. So there are various new models of investment where the vendor itself finances the solar system and sells power to the SME, and the SME can pay as they use the electricity. We are also going to launch a similar program where we will be offering financing model where the customer does not need to pay us upfront, they just need to pay a certain advance, and they can pay the remaining amount in a period over installments, and the installments will be repaid through the savings that they will have. So we totally focus on our rooftop segment in the SME market because we ourselves are an SME and we understand the pain and challenges faced by an SME.
Vineet, I was just looking at some figures suggesting that there's been a 70% Y-on-Y growth if you look at 2018 versus 2017 in terms of new installations, etc. How has that really played out for you, both for you as a company, for you as Navitas Solar, as well as for the entire industry, seeing this rapid growth and expansion?
So now the cost of solar has gone down drastically, and people are now moving towards accepting the installations of solar. They are ready to invest and they are ready to take the benefits out of solar in the long run, and now the market has grown because of the acceptability and more awareness in the market for solar.
I understand you have some global expansion plans as well, Vineet. Anything you can share with us at this point?
All the 6 years that we have been into this business, our focus has been to develop our base, to develop the trust and the brand that we have created. So once we have a certain name and reputation in the market, we can grow multi-folds. So now we are in an inflection point where we have a certain brand and a certain retail value from the market. We have a committed set of loyal customers who are backing us. Plus, we feel there is a point of inflection in the rooftop market, which is going to grow multi-fold from this year and into coming years, as well as there is already a very big boom that we can see in the electric mobility space, which will increase the power requirement by leaps and bounds. So all these things taking into account, we believe that the market is going to grow and there will always be a need for cheaper power, green power as per the climate change norms, as per the India's commitments in various international forums. And looking into all of this, we believe there is a huge market to tap, and we believe that we are in a good position to grow from here into the next phase of growth.
Okay, I'm running out of time on this interview, Vineet, but very briefly, what's the rooftop solar market looking like?
So India's solar rooftop market is growing by more than 50% year on year, and it is still going to grow because the scale is very big and the base is very small right now. And the benefits of putting up solar for the industries is very big. They can get a payback between 2 years to 4 years depending on the power tariff in which state they are, and whether they are able to access easy finance or not. But the major challenge is again the awareness part, as I told before. So once people start getting aware about the benefits of solar, they will start putting up solar. The government's target of 40 gigawatt by 2022 seems a bit far-fetched, but still we will be always looking to install as much solar as possible. And the major boost will be once the SME segment will start installing solar either on capex model or someone finances them through an OPEX model. So we again believe that solar rooftop market is going to grow, continue to grow in the years to come.
All right, we've spoken about your expansion plans. We've spoken about also, the kind of growth, etc., that you're targeting. But one quick thing that you want to leave us with in terms of what is exciting you personally in the short term?
So the way forward for Navitas is the way forward for the country or the economy as a whole. We are moving from a fossil fuel based economy to a more greener and environmentally sustainable economy, because it is a need of the hour, not just because the fossil fuels are depleting, but also because the benefits of solar are much bigger than the cost or the other expenses that we incur in the fossil fuel economy in terms of generation, in terms of transmission. There are various advantages which a solar project has. So we get all those benefits because we are in this field, and we will be continuing to grow from now here till the coming years. We have already had an expansion in the previous year. We are looking for one more expansion in next 2 years, as well as we are looking at expanding our other portfolios like the EPC and RESCO model, where we sell power to the end customers directly. So we believe that it's going to be a long journey, and there is not going to be a replacement for solar just because of the benefit of solar generation at the point of consumption. So it is providing a solution to a lot of problems in the transmission network, because we are generating solar on the roof of the customer. The customer directly installs and puts and consumes solar, and if they require, they can put up some batteries like lithium ion, which we are also getting into, and they can have a completely sustainable lifestyle where they don't have to depend on the outside discoms for getting their power needs. So we believe that our company is on a growth trajectory from here till the next 10 years, 20 years.
Vineet, thanks for your time here on the show tonight.
Thank you, Sunanda, for having me on this interview. It's been great, and we thank you for coming all the way.
All right, completely out of time on this episode. If you have any feedback for us, here's how you get in touch. leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com is our email ID. On social media, Sunanda_J or LOT_ET now on Twitter. On Facebook, Leaders of Tomorrow on ET now. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.